What's up, YouTubeites? Welcome to Lords of Longbox presents the CovrPrice comic book shakers of the week. Almost into a week. We had a week where we had two shows at once. We had Miss Marvel and Obi-Wan Kenobi. So it's been a great week. Can't believe tomorrow's already Friday. So while you guys congregating, let me give you a Bay Area legend, DJ Juanito. What up, everybody? Welcome to the CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. Fun fact, I actually met DJ Juanito. We were DJing a wedding in the late 80s, and he comes up to introduce us, yo, I'm DJ Juanito. I said, we have some of your records. I don't believe you. And then he goes, here, let me get on the decks real quick. And he started fucking cutting it up. I was like, God damn, okay, all right. This is, I think
that's how you prove it.
Yeah, it may have been a wedding we DJ'd in like Daly City or somewhere. Back in mobile DJing was huge. But anyway, welcome to the CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. Gabe, say what's good to people.
What up, everybody? Welcome in. Keep an eye on the list today. There's some cool, fun stuff we're going to talk about. Shout out to CovrPrice for providing us all this info. Have fun today, guys.
And in witness protection, Witsec, my man JB from Discovery Bay Comics. Say what's good to people.
How you doing, everybody? Welcome to the show. Yeah, I am broadcasting live from the hotel. What is this? The business center. So I'm set up in the business center to make my appearance tonight. And man, this list, you may get one, maybe one. I think this is an offer list.
This list spans from 2010s all the way back to like the 40s. So, you know, as always, our friends on CovrPrice always get eclectic with it. Once again, this show is sponsored by our friends over at CovrPrice.com. Go to CovrPrice.com, sign up for a $6.99 a month, and you get all your price guides, collections, and trends. Also, our friends at Key Collectibles are facilitating CGC grading, pressing needs. Once again, this is the CovrPrice. Where is my graphic? I got like a million graphics, as Jamie can attest to. Yeah,
you do.
First off, thanks to everybody who was checking up on me last Tuesday. I made the mistake of mixing medication before on an air and then realized that my mouth wasn't communicating with my brain the way it should be. So, yeah. So, whenever you read that disclaimer where it says "Don't mix your medication," I follow you. You should do that. So anyway, I'm fine. CovrPrice Shakers of the Week. This friend is brought to you by our friends from CovrPrice. focusing on new sales or the most interesting sales found on their exclusive daily shakers list. This changes every day, so make sure you check it out to review some of the hottest trending books on the market. And right after today's show, I will be a guest over on Team Nerd Herd for a good hour. So right at 7 p.m., head on over there. But in the meantime, let's get right to it. What do we got for the first shaker?
Man, coming up first, this one's cool. We've got Amazing Spider-Man the movie, #1, originally published in 2012 from Marvel Comics, and once upon a time, fans despised Sony's Amazing Spider-Man films with Andrew Garfield. The films were widely panned and greatly dismissed, along with anything related to it, such as this comic book movie adaptation. However, that all changed after Tom Holland's Spider-Man teamed up with both Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield's alternate Peter Parker Spider-Man in Spider-Man No Way Home. No Way Home fixed many of Amazing Spider-Man's issues and closed several important character arcs for Garfield's Spider-Man, including saving Mary Jane by the lessons he learned after failing to save his universe's Gwen Stacy. Now, Andrew's version was instantly redeemed and in turn beloved. His Amazing Spider-Man film surged in views on Disney Plus. He became so popular that fans began demanding Sony to create an Andrew Garfield Amazing Spider-Man 3 film. While this was all happening, this comic adaptation was quietly building up market value, culminating in this week's huge sale of $800 for a CGC 9.8. This webbed up the previous 9.8 sale of $150 just last week. Now, is this fluke or new trend? We'll have to see. Either way, this is how the wind blows when it comes to the comic collecting and overall fandom. It's truly fascinating to see.
I would argue that Andrew Garfield's version of Spider-Man was the best of all three in that film. To me,
I don't disagree.
He fully redeemed himself. He had the best moment of saving this Spider-Verse's MJ, and I got to admit, the whole crowd just lost it when he did it. And they all knew he was going to do it. It's one of those things, this movie you had to see opening night, and where the crowd just absolutely gobbled up. Everybody's applauding. People are crying, grown men crying, women crying, little children crying. It was fucking incredible, man. But
it was incredible.
Amazing Spider-Man, the movie, #1, King of the Golden State's got a copy. I wonder if he bought that 9.8. I doubt it. But anyway, he probably already had it. But yeah, Amazing Spider-Man, the movie, issue #1, the I guess you can call it the movie poster variant because it's the video of their likeness. But there's been rumors and whispers of another Spider-Man movie that takes place. I wouldn't think it would be so much this version. Like, I could see where they could do a Tobey Maguire version where they introduce Mayday Parker, where him and what was it?
Kristen Dunst.
Yeah, him and MJ, right? Him and MJ have a kid. Because remember, they said, he's older now and, he has a kid. And in the comics, I do believe it's maybe in a What If series, but eventually it spun out in their own, where it's a Mayday Parker. So I don't know. I think Sony's got something. I'd rather see that than freaking Madam Web, to be honest with you. But all right.
Or another Venom movie.
Yeah, on to Amazing Spider-Man, on to some 90s goodness.
All right, so #2 on the Shakers list, we got Archer and Armstrong, Forever #1. This is the Burnt Wood, cover D, 1 in 250 from Valiant Comics just recently in 2022. Valiant is well known for paving the way for creating some unique variants for collectors. We recently covered a few of Valiant's early metal variants, which is the first ones of their kind that are now a very popular trend. Jump to this past May 2022, they've once again blazed, quite literally, a new variant of wood with the exclusive cover burnt into it. Like many of Valiant's rarer covers, this was a 1 in 250 incentive, and it's incredibly tough to find. Valiant fans are all over it, pushing prices up to its current price tag of $400 raw. It's not even known if CGC or CBCS can even grade these types of books, but we could expect those to quickly disappear into collections if they do.
I'm confused. Are you saying that this is actually burnt onto the cover? So this is a one of a kind?
Yeah.
Or I know you said 1 of 250. How many of these are there out there?
Probably less than 2.
Yeah. In the 90s, Archer and Armstrong was part of that whole Valiant movement where, Image was coming out known for the art. Valiant came out known for the stories, right? I think Big Jim Shooter was the publisher, right, for Valiant?
For Valiant. He started Valiant. He's one of the ones, yeah.
And then Dinesh bought it, and then they tried to revamp it in the 2000-somethings, right? It didn't really get, we had some new, Exo Man of War and some other stuff. And then Bloodshot, obviously, that was the apex where they thought they would bring back everything, Valiant. Unfortunately, Bloodshot was, I tell you, that was the last movie I saw before the pandemic. It was like, I remember that movie came out and then a week later, everything shut down. I was like, man, it was horrible timing. But, hey, man, you get what you can get during the pre-pandemic days. We'll look back in like 10 years from now, you remember when the movie theaters were shut down for like 6 months? You're like, damn, that's crazy. Like, even when movie theaters reopened, they weren't even showing new movies. We were watching like Top. I remember we saw Top Gun again in the movie theaters.
And drive-ins became a big thing for a while too, which is great.
We saw outdoor drive-in where they just put up a giant inflatable screen.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
we watched Psycho, the original Alfred Hitchcock Psycho, on this, and we just popped up the hatch of my car and we just sat there. It was outdoors, and it was funny is we were in like Anaheim or Santa Ana, and there's a quinceañera going on next door. And they were just bumping ranchero music. And we're like, what the fuck is going on, man? But Archer and Armstrong Forever #1 from 2022. It's Burnt Wood Cover D variant 1 in 250. Go figure. All right, this brings back some real nostalgia for me right here.
All right, here we go. Next up, we've got Batman issue number 427, the newsstand variant, originally published in 1988 from DC Comics, and a rare newsstand edition of this key chapter in one of Batman's most infamous storylines, sold this week for $5.99 in a CGC graded 9.8. This is the story arc in which the then current Robin, Jason Todd, is killed by the Joker. Now, Jason's death has been adapted in the live-action HBO Max show Titans and in the animated film Under the Red Hood. Now, you guys got to remember, DC Comics, reacting to fans' dislike over Jason Todd's characterization, set up two 1-900 phone hotlines that, for the price of $1 a call, gave callers the chance to vote for or against Jason's death at the story's climax. At the end of this particular issue included a full-page ad with both phone numbers, with the following issue revealing the results. In the end, a slim majority, only 72 votes of fans voted to kill Jason. The publicity stunt led to massive media attention for DC Batman and the story, with many fans unaware that this was not the original beloved Robin, Dick Grayson, being killed. Now, Jason has since returned to life in 2003's Batman Annual number 25, but he remained a casualty of disgruntled fans and a wide publicity stunt for 25 years. A while.
Yeah, if I remember, he was like bludgeoned to death by the Joker with a crowbar, right?
With a crowbar, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, hey, don't leave it to fans. We're gonna vote for the darkest shit ever. You know what I'm saying? If you give us an option to killing somebody, we're like, kill them. You know what I'm saying? I mean, didn't they do this gimmick a few years ago? But it was an online thing where you could vote, and it was for the Titans TV show. I'm trying to remember. They were like, we're doing it again. You can kill off so. Should we kill off so and so? And I believe it was due for the Titans. He ends up being Red Hood anyway on the TV show, which is great, by the way. At least. The second season is. The first season is kind of trash because they had a minuscule budget. But the second season, kind of ultra graphic, but they dropped a little. I know this sounds like old grumpy moment man talking, but they drop F-bombs just for F-bombs. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really like they're just cursing for no reason at all, just so they can get a rated R. You know what I'm saying? If you watch Titan season 2, or I think it's season 2 or 3, you'll kind of notice that, it's kind of, I guess if you watch Peacemaker, when he drops S-bombs, it's hilarious because it's the kind of show it is. Whereas Titans, it doesn't really need to be. It could just stand on its own. But, that's just grumpy old me talking. So Batman number 427, 1988. Let's see how rare a newsstand was in 1988 as I pull up my handy dandy graphic here. So 1986 was about 50-50. So 1990 really skewed toward direct. So, newsstand was relatively rare, I would say, in 1988. I mean, in 1988, I can still remember buying comics at 7-Elevens and liquor stores. Famously, I bought my copy of Spawn #1 at a liquor store. In the middle of the night, I remember the story. It was like one of those a stop and go. And I saw it there, and I was coming home from wherever, I think a bar, and I was buying a pack of Marlboro Reds.
Gotta get them Marlboro Reds.
And I saw a copy of Spawn #1. I go, this is interesting. That's Todd McFarlane. So I just grabbed it. I wish I had it though, because obviously the the newsstand version of Spawn is obviously more rare than the direct stand, but back in the days, man, back when you used to get comics at the supermarkets anymore, or excuse me, 7-Elevens. Batman 427 to something way back.
Yep. So next up here, we're talking about 4-Color from Dell 1949. This is issue number 228. We reported in December 2021 that Wilmer Valderrama of That 70s Show fame was set to star as Zorro in a new TV series for Disney. At the time, we stated that his first appearance of Zorro was severely undervalued at a fair market value of $40 for a raw copy. Well, that all changed with a monster sale of a 9.2 for $5,040 on June 5th. This book is extremely hard to find, especially in high grade, with only 2 9.2s on the CGC census. So it will be interesting to see if the TV series can spark an interest in low grade copies.
Damn. So
come on, give us the unguard.
I remember Zorro as a kid, right? And then in the 80s, they made a parody of it. Remember Zorro the Gay Blade? And he was wearing like a all pink. And then there was another version where it was what's his nuts, and then Catherine Zeta-Jones,
Antonio Banderas.
Yes,
Banderas, that was pretty cool. Antonio Banderas and fine ass Catherine Zeta-Jones was in that version of and Zorro's been in what comic strips. For those when comic strips from a newspaper, for like forever, like if you think about it, but. Marco de Zorro from 1949 in a 9.2.
9.2 is incredible.
That seems undervalued to me. I'm sorry. $5,000 for a book from 1949.
Yeah, people are slipping on that.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys need to step up your game, man. That seems to be. I wonder if the seller's disappointed because that's an eBay auction because that's an odd number to end on 5,040. Maybe a Heritage or an auction house or something. But all right, let's step up to something a little bit newer. We're jumping all over the place here, boys and girls.
We're all over the place, and the story behind this one's fantastic. Are you ready? Invincible issue number 50, the David Williams connecting cover, originally published in 2008 from Image Comics. Now, by 2008, with the exception of Larry's version of issue number 1, which featured the same cover with the words Larry's Wonderful World of Comics Limited Edition, Invincible was a rare variant-free series. Wait a minute. Did you hear that right? I'm going to say it one more time. Invincible was a rare variant-free series. Seriously. Try to find any modern series that lasted 49 issues without a variant cover. We have to go all the way to issue number 50 to get our first variant featuring Invincible issue number 50, David Williams connecting, whose connecting brethren are Brit number 7 and Astounding Wolfman number 7. Now, this week, a copy of this cover sold for a massive new high sale of $600 raw, obliterating the last raw sale of $240 of January of this year. Now, keep in mind, despite 12 9.8 copies on the CGC census, we have never seen a single copy come to market. Invincible fans tend to hold on to their books, hence the incredibly high price for issue number 1. We're eager to see one, though. For now, we'll remain shocked by the new high sale this week.
Woo. Yeah, and Cunning Swag brings up a good point. Walking Dead in the 2008 era, right around that era, that was independent comics didn't have a ton of variants. Like Dead on Walking Dead, Chew was another one, Morning Glories was another one, Peter Fausenhaus, all those kind of indie comics in 2008. It was a bull market or bear market, whatever. Comics were starting to slowly slide, and really The Walking Dead is kind of what brought a lot of collectors back because the show came out and people go, wait, there's a comic book based on it? And they go, why is it in black and white? It's like, I stopped collecting in 2002, and Walking Dead brought me back into collecting comics back in whenever it came out in 2006, 2007, and the Ultimates line of Marvel, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate X-Men, Ultimate Fantastic, the first iteration of the Ultimate Universe. That kind of brought you back, and it was able to get you into a starting point, and and modernize the comics. And then after, well, that was like in 2002, where and then after that, give it a while. Then now I think every single independent comic that comes out, when I say independent, even though Image is huge, they want to be the next Walking Dead, right? To the point nowadays, people will get option deals before the comic even comes out. That's how crazy the internet is. Or a go indie fund me, whatever the hell they're called. But this is dope. This is dope cover. Is this who did this cover, by the way? It's
David
not
Williams.
David Williams.
Yeah,
David Williams
I was gonna say that's not Ryan Otley, because this cover is incredible, and I cannot wait. I have a feeling Gabe is one of those collectors that has not sold any Invincible comics.
No, actually, I sold a huge collection of it recently on Whatnot, but I have some major keys. I even have original art from Invincible that I own. Like, it's a spoiler page too. So I posted it on my Instagram a while ago, and I had to cover it, most of it up with sticky notes, because it's a huge spoiler page.
Yeah, I've read Invincible, and the season 1, just when we talked about it before, it barely scratches the surface how big the Invincible universe is and what he goes through and what he goes through. It's absolutely brutal. You think
people are not ready for the stuff that's coming up with Invincible? They're going to follow the books. It's nuts.
Yeah, what was the name of the team? That
Guardians of the Globe.
Yeah, their first appearance isn't even in Invincible #1, isn't it? It's like issue number 7 or something right around there, I think.
Yeah, it's one of those rare books that we talk about where their first appearance and first death was in the same issue.
In the same issue.
Exactly. Almost Thunderbird. Thunderbird dies an issue later. The X-Men, spoiler alert. But that's why, man, I was really disappointed not to get another season of Jupiter's Legacy. Even though they did like a sequel prequel to it, but Netflix just said it cost them too much money to make. But man, if you give Jupiter's Legacy a try, I mean, the read is incredible. I mean, I'm first of all, I'm a big Mark Miller. It's Mark Miller, not Millar. I'm a huge Mark Miller like anything he does, like even that anime with the super what are they called, super criminals, the one Nemesis, shout out to my boy Justin Nemesis Prime, where he's dressed in all white, and then everything Mark Millar does, I think everything, he's got like an exclusive deal with Netflix now, so anything he does, it's got a good chance of showing up on Netflix. So, and Netflix just did their I don't know if you've seen it, the Geeked whatever, their little version of their own, I guess, Comic-Con maybe, because they showed like a lot of footage, and I was like a little disappointed I didn't get to see any footage from the new Last Kingdom movie. The Last Kingdom and with 5 seasons, and then they're doing a movie called The 7 Kings Must Die. And I've been on such a nostalgia kick. I've been watching like Vikings. I even watched Marco Polo. I've watched this old the Musketeers show. I'm watching all these like period drama pieces. I want more and more. And I'm really watching the original Viking show now, which isn't nearly as good as Vikings Valhalla, but it'll do. So Invincible #50, David Williams connecting variant, 600 bones for a raw dog. Wow. What do we got up next?
Up next, good old friend of ours, Miles Morales, Ultimate Spider-Man #1. This is the Fiona Staples 1 in 50. We have written about this fantastic variant in the past before. In fact, just 2 months ago, we were wondering if the delay of Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse going into June of 2023 would affect the price of Miles Morales books. Apparently, this book went unscathed, as a 9.8 went for a multiverse shattering $6,600 on June 6th, nearly doubling the last sale, which was $3,550 for a 9.8 back in March, as well as the $4,862 for a 9.6 on April 16th. This book has now surpassed the all-time high of the first appearance of Miles in Ultimate Fallout 4 by over $2,600.
That's crazy.
Damn.
So this book is now $2,600 more expensive than Ultimate Fallout 4 in a 9.8.
Just #1, just the regular one. That's I believe the 1 in 25, or what is it? What is the
Marco Djurjevic cover?
Yeah,
the
Marco Djurjevic. That is the variant to get. That's the first appearance, and it's like a 1 in 50. I want to say something. That one gets high, but I know
that's still like 30 grand or something, right?
My man Otto Nemesis Prime, or excuse me, Otto from 3 Men in Basement had his, but he had a 9.2 when he sold it. I said, oh, you should have held on. Even in the 9.2, it's really hard to find. But this is almost right out of the movie. If you remember, like in the movie, he's like jumping through cars and shit. I can't wait to see the trailer, man. It's been so long, right? It seems like they showed us the Miles Morales teaser trailer. Remember when he was going through Mumbai and all this other shit? It's like, man, yo, when are we gonna get it? I need more because there's supposedly the old animation team was a crew of 200. Now they have 400. So just factored in how crazy the graphics gonna look. And this is one of those films where I would say go see it in 3D because it's literally like a comic page coming to the big screen. Speaking of which, Miss Marvel #1 surprised the shit out of me. I was there.
I enjoyed it.
Watch it yet?
I enjoyed it. I thought
It's
it was pretty
really
good.
cool. Like when
My
she's walking down the street.
loved
Oh my
it.
god!
My
you know what?
oldest loved it.
I was like, yeah, I'll watch it, but whatever. But I was like entertained like, when she was riding her bike and she's talking about like all the different Avengers. I'm not giving any spoilers away. And then they showed these kind of like animations that are graffiti on the different buildings. It's pretty cool, man. So yeah. So now Wednesdays I got Obi-Wan and Miss Marvel. So that's good for all of us, right? So Miles Morales Ultimate Spider-Man issue #1. Fiona Staples 1 and 50. From 2014, make sure it's the right volume. 6,600 ball barrels and a 9.8. Good Lord have mercy.
Good Lord.
Now let's go to something really off the wall.
This is off the wall, man. Next up, we've got Not Brand Ek, #1, originally published in 1967 from Marvel Comics. And Not Brand Ek is a satirical comic book published to parody superheroes like Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, and other Marvel properties. The series ran from 1967 to 1969, publishing 13 issues. The first issue published was the first cover appearance of Bushman, an employee of the parodied Marvel Comics. The comics debuted satirical versions of our favorite heroes, such as the Thung, Weed Wichards, Human Scorch, Inevitable Girl, the Silver Burper, and the Inedible Bulk. Now, several Marvel legends contributed to this publication, like Jack Kirby, Gene Colan, Roy Thomas, and none other than Stan Lee himself. This 1967 gem recently sold for a new all-time high of $2,040 for a 9.8 graded copy, and there are currently only 16 graded 9.8 copies on the CGC census. A sale of this caliber is fairly rare. The last time this book had a 9.8 sale was way back in 2016.
That is nuts. I remember this, and Gabe probably tested this because Gabe's probably been to more shows than all of us combined. Is I used to see this at shows all the time. $10, $20 book. No, easily, right? Yeah, it was easily a $10, $20 book. And you could that is definitely Jack Kirby drawing at least the Invisible Woman. It's got a very Kirby-esque look to the way it's drawn. If you look at
her hips and
her hair 100%.
Her hair, it's
Kirby,
that 60s beehive hairdo, whatever it is. But yo, man, crazy. It's crazy. It's nostalgia buys, man. Especially now, people are growing up with disposable income. But a 9.8 for $2,040 for Not Brand. Ugh.
And that's hard because this is one of those like square bound books too, like the old Marvel annuals. Like it's old, you always find those things split. So just to find it not split is hard. Yeah,
staples are busted out, just like Giant Size X-Men #1. Like it's hard to find that at 9.8. Same as Silver Surfer #1 too. If you think about it, square bound.
Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1.
Yeah. Good luck with that. So, Not Brand Ek #1. I don't. If anybody's got that, we need proof of life on this one. Especially in 9.8. So we go from Not Brand Ek to something a bit seductious.
Yeah, just look at the name of this book: Reform School Girl #1 from Avon, 1951. Everybody, this pre-Comics Code classic just sold for $3,840. Not bad for a book with a 10-cent cover price. Speaking of, this book used a salacious photo cover to entice readers into the pages of a pretty typical for the time crime anthology. But with stories starring young females, Faith is denied parole and escapes prison to return to a life of crime. Adele, no, not the singer, joins a teenage street gang and becomes a car thief. B is a pawn in a scheme to blackmail a millionaire. Beverly's past comes back to haunt her with her new husband. An exhilarating comic from the exploitation era, this book was singled out by Frederick Wortham in the oft-discussed Seduction of the Innocent. He didn't want us to have any fun or access to lurid stories about bad girls. Whatever, Wortham. This comic is unrelated to the 1957 and 1986 films of the same name, but all three prove a good title is timeless.
Look at the cover, though, man.
I mean, 1951. Yeah, you
got a cigarette hanging out of her mouth.
See her ankle. What a hussy.
Yeah, very.
She's got a cigarette hanging out of her mouth, fixing her garter belt. Come on.
Go full circle. And in 2022, we now have Betty Page comics, right? You know, Betty Page was like, the pinup girl of her era. You know, first, now she's got all kinds of different covers and stuff. But it's kind of funny, after this, obviously came the Comics Code, and you had more things that you couldn't do. But
well, Dynamite does those like Red Sonja covers and stuff like that, where it's actually like cosplay girls on it, and they're like super skimpy compared to this. So
we've
definitely
look at her face. What is she saying to you right now?
She looks like she smells a fart.
Yeah. I mean, Gabe, I don't know if WonderCon, if you saw like some of the cosplayers are outside. There was this one chick that literally just was giant. She was like this one of the Scooby girls. Did you see her? She just had she barely had a top on her ass, was just hanging out. I was like,
oh yeah. I could still see that with my eyes open.
Yeah, I remember seeing that. And Justin, I think I pointed out to Justin when we were walking by and we're at WonderCon. I was like, oh my god, that is not how it's supposed to look. But hey, whatever you got to do, you boo. Reform School Girl #1 from Avon, January 1950. I wonder if that is like the cosmetic company. Avon.
What kid brought this home? I wonder.
Oh my god! What is
finding that under little Timmy's bed? Would have been a disaster.
Little Reform School #1, and then some crazy ass comic with like a severed head being held by somebody. I can see why pre-code horror is getting such a uptick now. Oh, see what it did there? What's the next one?
Oh, perfect. What a segue. Next up, we've got The Tick issue #1, originally published in June of 1988 from New England Comics. Now, most comic book collectors who were in the hobby in the 90s will have fond memories of The Tick. With the exception of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Tick is arguably one of the most successful independent comic properties of all time. The character enjoyed several action figure lines, a forgettable video game, an iconic animated series, and 2 enjoyable live-action series. Now, this 9.8 sale of $1,500 for The Tick #1 is the highest price we've ever seen this book sell for. In all fairness, this book rarely sells at all in 9.8, as there are only 8 copies on the CGC census. This book is exceptionally hard to get in high grade due to it being oversized with an all-black cover printed on cheap paper. Now, it's worth pointing out that this is not the Tick's first appearance, which happened in a one-page story in the New England Comics newsletter, issue #14 from 1986. The character also made additional appearances in issue 15 and 16 of that same newsletter. Now, the Tick's first comic book appearance was in the Tick Special Edition #1, printed with serial numbers up to 5,000. The special edition was released in March of 1988, while issue #1 was released in June of 1988. The special edition looks just like issue #1, but with a white cover. The interior of the books are identical with the exception of letters page and some advertisements. Spoon!
Shout out to John Longshot, who has the white cover. So I bought this when it came off the shelf. And I gave it to my buddy Phil when he left the country as a present back in 2001, right? My original copy, because then he was a comic book fan, and I was like, here, you can have my copy. And ever since then, I was like, I regretted it. But 9.8 seems to be cheap to me. I have a black copy. I had a chance to get the white cover off of Instagram page seller. It's Blue Sky Comics. I forgot what the name of their page is. It's him and his buddy, and they sell comics. And they had the white cover, or it may have been the other, I'm trying to think of the other Instagram seller where they had the white cover as well, and they were just asking like $400 or $500 for it. And I was like, I should have pulled the trigger though. But anytime when I could say Batman, is a win for this show because Batman Will was one of the characters on the show. Is absolutely freaking hilarious, man. But the Tick from New England Comics from 1988. $1,500 for 9.8 seems like a steal to me, man. I
All
think
black cover.
It's impossible to find. Like,
I think the
9.8.
show really came out too soon. Like if it would have come out now, the way the comic markets react now to to series being on like TV or movies, I think now it would absolutely blow up. If like the Tick ever came back again, I think people would go back to it. But what do they call them? Nigh destructible or something along those lines?
Nigh indestructible, yeah.
Nigh indestructible, yeah. So we got one more Boys and Girls, and let's see what's shaking today. What do we got for the last one for the list?
This is one of my favorite books of all time. I absolutely love X-Men 25, but this is the black and white variant, Marvel Comics 1993. This book will forever be known for the bone-chilling or bone-ripping madness of the Master of Magnetism, separating our dear Wolverine's adamantium skeleton from his body. The main cover of this book and its variants are readily available for the modern collector, part of the Fatal Attractions run that screamed 1990s with wraparound covers and holographic character depictions. This variant, however, is in a league of its own. Its black and white background making Magneto brutally stand out, along with having him in the holographic portrait formerly occupied by Gambit, recently selling for $916 in a CGC 9.8. It blows all the other variants away, which usually see fair market value going for about $4 all the way up to like $88. It was a limited retailer incentive exclusive, and at the time of release, often had a premium price tag associated with it when it was available at local LCSs. Most collectors choose to grab multiple copies of Cover A instead, but those who held on to their copies are reaping the rewards.
I've been knowing about this cover for forever now. I think ever since I think it was on YouTube back in like 2015, even on Instagram, like 2012, people started talking about it. They were showing it and saying, so every time I go and look for this comic, number 25, I never saw the black and white version. And it also begs the question, why hasn't Magneto ripped his shit apart for all these years right now, right? I mean, you think about it, he's the master of magnetism. Why didn't he rip the shit out of his and then if you remember after this, for the longest while, Magneto had those whack-ass kind of skeleton claws that he was doing for a while before they found, I don't even
You mean the
remember.
awesome bone claws that Wolverine had? Come on.
No, come on now. But yeah, but I'm trying to remember what the storyline was, how he got his adamantium back. Somebody help me out here.
It was a real kind of odd, drawn-out story involving Apocalypse and things like that. Because it was even in Wolverine issue 100. I'm going to sound like a total nerd. Cable's son, Genesis, attempted to re-establish and redo the Weapon X project on Wolverine to get the adamantium in him, and it exploded out of Wolverine, and that's when you got the really weird feral face, like missing the nose, and he got super mutated. But it was later on, just randomly, he just got it back again thanks to Apocalypse. I think that was Wolverine, like 145 or something like that, with a really cool foil like claw cover.
That's great fucking knowledge right there,
explained,
man.
actually.
That's great fucking knowledge right there.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, but yeah, you think, man, I can break bones, but the story was also he's the only one that could survive it because of his healing factor, just like the only way he could survive the injection of the adamantium. All right, you know what? For the longest time, I didn't know how adamantium was. I was like, I had been mispronouncing it for decades.
I didn't know until the X-Men cartoon came out. Yeah,
exactly. Well, and when the X-Men cartoon came out, he had an accent. He had like this weird British accent. Do you remember that? He was on
the original Pride of the X-Men. They cast him as a Canadian. No. Yeah, Australian.
Yeah, it was on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and he had this weird kind of Aussie or UK accent. It was on Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, and they had like Cyclops, Wolverine, a bunch of characters on it, and then I was like, wow, Wolverine has an accent, huh? I would have never known. But that's our list, boys and girls. Let's go see what's shaking today, shall we, as we do a seamless transition.
There you go.
Seamless.
Look at that.
Seamless. Look at that.
Seamless. Right into the weekly top 10. Grimm taking the top spot, Secret Avengers. This Todd McFarlane MegaCon, I think this is exclusive. Speed Racer getting some love back. Go check out our Tuesday show to see everything. These are the movers. These are most units moved this week. Good to see some of these on here. But we're here to see what's shaking. I already see some cool shit already, man.
Man.
We got a
Look
couple
at
of these.
that. We'll
The
start
hell
out right
is
off the bat.
that?
We got to do Better Comics #1 from Maple Leaf Publishing, 1941.
Woof.
Well, look at that. Is really basic. I think I could draw
But-
that. I'm just, hey, for the time,
What,
who knows?
what do you
man?
think? That's a drilling to the center of the earth storyline kind of thing?
Something. Surprises and prizes. Maple Leaf Publishing, issue #1, 18,100 and a 5.5. 18,500. Did you hear what I just said? 18,000. Look
That
at
is
that.
crazy town.
What the hell is this?
What is this?
I have no idea. There's not even a recorded sales on it.
What is that?
We're just going to write down and down because these look pretty darn interesting. Sun Girl from Marvel, issue #1. Sun Girl, the mysterious beauty, menace of the monsters. $8,000 for a 8.0. Look at that.
From what year though?
This is from
1948.
1948. Yeah. That looks pretty crazy. I never even heard of that, to be honest with you. And we're going to continue on with more obscure shit just to get you guys more offers.
Like more
Amazing Man Comics. #6 from good old Centaur Comics from 1939. $7,000 for 4.5. That seems rather cheap to me. If you can get a 7.5 from 1945, 1939.
1939, yeah. This is World War II era stuff.
Pre-World
Yeah.
War II era. Shoes. There's my first appearance of Bullseye. I still need this for my Frank
That's
Miller
the
Daredevil run.
First Miller, right?
No,
That's the first Miller
Miller's
as the
158.
writer and the artist.
Yeah,
Oh.
his first issue, I believe, is 158, where he does the art on it. But the entire run is incredible. It's really, taking.
Oh, he changed Daredevil forever. It's a high watermark of the Daredevil run. Nobody's ever going to be able to top that, I think.
Exactly. He gave it kind of dark, gave it the Dark Knight treatment, basically. Triumph Comics from Bell Features from 1943. Look at this. I always say I miss actual.
Look at that text
words.
on the cover. Wow.
Exactly. That's what I miss. You rarely ever see that on the covers nowadays. $15.25 or 2.5. I like what CovrPrice does now. See how in the background it takes the comic and puts it there. It's like if
That's
you go
cool.
to the next issue
Very
over.
nice.
Very
Very
I see what you did there,
nice.
Matt
I
and
see what you did
John.
there.
Very, very, very cheeky of you. Speaking of Invincible #1, $1,500 for a raw dog.
I sold mine too early. Gosh darn it, dude.
You
I sold
think?
mine like right when the show came out, but I
Wow.
used that money as a down payment on my house. So, I mean,
There
I
you
get
go.
interest toward my house. So, it is what
Well,
it is.
I just sold my first appearance of Shang-Chi for a new card that I will spring on people this weekend.
Nice.
There you go.
Yeah, I'll just say it starts with B and ends with W. That's all I'm gonna say.
Nice.
But yeah, I use a lot of that money to put toward the down payment. It's time for Papa to get a new toy. You know what I'm saying? Maybe midlife
right.
crisis car or something like that. Look at this.
This is on a
Visions.
motorcycle.
Gray Cook and Lamar Waldron.
I don't know what this is.
That is
I don't
some
know what
dope ass
this is.
pencils. I'm trying to make out what that is exactly. But it looks like very raw pencils. From 1979, $14.25 for a raw comic. What?
$4 for a comic book in 1979. That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, it's got to be some type of magazine. It's how do you know they spelled out $4 like but yeah, it must be like a giant size magazine anthology or something. You know us on the Shaker Show, we always talk about our pre-code horror stuff. Tales from the Crypt #24. Look at that gnarly cover.
That's
Love it.
awesome.
This is the crypt, also features the Crypt Keeper, the Old Witch, and the Vault Keeper. You got all the keepers in there, man. $1,300 for a raw comic, man, from 1951. Man, I really missed out. I wanted like a decade ago. Wanted to start collecting like pre-code horror, like specifically EC, but I never got around to it, and now it just
Yeah.
No.
I was in that mindset for a while too, but you just kind of just fall out of it. This stuff's kind of hard to find. People were kind of just stashing it for a while.
I recently posted this Marvel Spotlight #5. This is not it though. It was recently the anniversary of Ghost Rider, and I posted as I follow Tom Breeveport on Twitter. He's a great follow he works for one of the editors of Marvel, but he also posts like great history, like today in comics these covers came out, and he had also posted Marvel Spotlight came out this 40 years ago, this week.
So my Marvel Spotlight 5 is at CGC, and I just called them recently to check on the status of it. Economy class to get it pressed and graded. A 2-year wait I have for it.
Crazy.
That's
2 years.
ridiculous, bro. Tell him to send it back. I'll give you one of my.
I
presents,
would,
man.
but it's a sign. I got it signed by Roy Thomas in November. So
my goodness.
if I get it back, I can't get it. I can't get the yellow
Holy
label.
cow. Look
So
at
I'm
this.
stuck.
2
The
years.
Fighting
I'll
Yanks.
see you in 2 years.
Yeah, serious. Probably be dead by then.
I know the movie will come out and there better be a movie and 2 sequels out by the time you get it back.
Yeah. Don't announce that movie anytime soon. They hold off for about 2 years.
Yeah. The Fighting Yank, America's Bravest Defender, just straight out knocking out some Nazis. Look at that.
I love his Quaker Oats hat.
Yeah. $8.98 for a 5.0. But yeah, it's kind of Captain Quaker, the Fighting Yank. I'm going to call him Captain Quaker. I wonder if there is you know what? I got one of these up for sale right now. Nobody seems to want it. And I got a 9.6. If hit me up if you have any offers. 9.8 just sold for $809. First appearance of America Chavez.
Trending down.
No doubt she'll be back though. You know what I'm saying? She's
Young Avengers. She'll be back for Young Avengers. That's when you can sell that for big money.
She'll definitely be back. I wonder if my sale's on here. Yeah. Here's the sad part of the. I already removed it. You notice I don't have any copies left?
Oh, yeah.
I used to have 2. I sold my 9.2 to one of our buddies on Instagram who has a 9.2 fetish. So I sold him a 9.2 of this. And then I had a 9.8, which I bought from another Instagram buddy for $1,500 when the movie was announced. And I sold it for, let's just say I sold it for north of $8K, right around there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
good for you, man. Good job.
Yeah, no, shout out to my man who sold it to me for $1,500 because he had multiple copies anyway. Because the day the movie's announced, I was like, dude, you still got the 9.8 copy? He goes, you know what? They just announced the movie, but you know what? I'll give it to you that price. So shout out to you, 4 Comics. You
Nice.
know, even when I posted it for sale on Instagram, he goes, Dan, I thought you were gonna get buried with this book. I said, I don't want to get buried with any books, bro. I want to, you know what I'm saying? I ain't taking nothing to the grave. I'm selling it all, man. Everything is for sale. The revolution will be televised.
I love these crime suspense stories covers, dude. These are the best. They're all jacked up.
Bro, how are you going to be burying a woman like that? In this issue, EC's adaptation of a story by Ray Bradbury, America's top horror writer. I always thought Bradbury was more associated with sci-fi than horror, to be honest with you. But yeah, look at that. He's like,
this is probably before he got into Star Trek stuff.
Yeah, he's like, shut up, I'm gonna bury you. I'm gonna bury you right here. Good Lord, that's like a serious phobia of me. Like
that's what happens when you give your husband cold eggs for breakfast.
Bro, I can't even get an MRI without freaking out, man. That damn tube that you go into, I freak out, you know. And this only happened to me at an older age. Like when I was younger, didn't have that fear. But as you get older, I don't know, it's a sense of mortality or what, man. But Rick and Morty, issue number 1. Look at that. I know people are huge Rick and Morty fans, but first appearance of Rick and Morty, $5.75 for 9.6.
Still wild.
Yeah, I have a specialized one from KRS Comics, and when the new series, he put a label in there. Remember the meme of the guy who sits there and he's got like a table with like writing, and people would put writing on it.
Oh, the prove me wrong meme.
Yeah, I had him wrote like some crazy stuff like Captain Kirk is a bitch or some shit like that. It was like the most random stuff ever. It was at a KRS Comics booth, and I was just having him say, "Hey, write this for me, write this for me." It was pretty fun, man. But good to see this book on here, man. The Invaders Annual number 1. Look at that. Got Namor. I believe that's Toro, this original Submariner.
Yeah.
Captain America fighting off some Nazis. Oh, it's telling me to sign in. What's going on here? Well, that was booted me out. I don't know. Hide my password here for a second.
Booted.
Yeah, man. They heard me talking about it. They're like, let's kick this fool out. All right. Let's go back to it. See how easy it is? Just keep your password and just keep things moving. I bet
that's movers. You're on the wrong
Shakers
tab.
have already. I was going to say the Shakers have changed already. Damn. Let's see if anything's changed since the last time we logged in. No, this Black Panther book.
Black Panther wasn't there a second ago.
They insist on making it happen. I swear to God. Here we go. Good girl cover.
Sonic.
Look at that.
Oh man, they're putting her in the electric chair.
Red dress.
Oh man, look at a crazy dude behind her too. Oh my God, this definitely dinner date with death. Oh my God, 19.
Who wants to eat dinner and watch a lady get shocked to death? That's morbid. But whatever.
Sonic the Hedgehog just got announced for a Netflix series, by the way. Sonic the Hedgehog number 1. First appearance.
I love the 2 movies that came out. Those were great.
$770. Well, the movie came out, but then during that Netflix Geek special, they're coming out with a Sonic series that's going to be specific just for Netflix. So yeah, we were looking at this Invaders book. Oh man, I'm telling you, people are gobbling up these horror books, man. Look at this gnarly cover.
Oh, that's awesome.
That is awesome.
Tomb of Terror number 16 from good old Harvey Comics. Death is for sale, and there are plenty of buyers gone. $475 for a 3.5. Dude, that's a killer deal, I'm telling you. Of course, everybody's been talking about Blue Beetle. It was a pretty the screenshot they took, pretty damn comic accurate,
looked
right?
pretty
If
good.
you're a fan of Blue Beetle. Infinite Crisis number 5, Jim Lee, the first appearance of Jaime Reyes is Blue Beetle from $395 for 9.8. I have a feeling this book has room to grow. I recently sold my Hulk 340, so here we go. Here's the sad part of I have to remove it from my collection. I'll do it later because I don't want to tell you how much I bought it for. Basically, you can remove it from a collection and you can tell how much you sold it for. So it gives you an idea of what's going on. Look at that. Thought I'd never see this book again. Let's talk about this Bride of Venom cover. That looks absolutely nuts. First appearance of She-Venom, Annie Wang, $350. I think we saw her. Was that her briefly in Venom #1 where she kind of?
Yeah, I'm surprised this book is still a thing. Yeah.
Yeah, especially Venom 2 came and gone, and we didn't see her again. So there's always other Venom. Look at this dope cover. Marvel Tales, Vampire Tales, from Marvel, 1974, $330. Look at this succubus. Oh Lord, have mercy. She got wings too.
The Altar of the
Dead.
Undead.
We were just talking about Vampirella on one of the shows. Look at this. This is a Canadian price variant, $495 for Vampirella. Number 113, $332. Oh man, that is gorgeous. I tell you, artists love drawing Vampirella. Every time there's a new variant that comes out, Destroyer Duck from Eclipse Comic. Look at that. You got a duck with a grenade machine gun. I remember this book, man, from 1982. First appearance of Gru the Wanderer from the great Sergio Aragonis. I don't know if you ever get a chance to. He hasn't passed away, has he?
No, he's still around.
Yeah. Great guy. If you ever meet him, he'll sign your books for free. Very, very cool dude to chat
Coolest
with.
mustache in the comic book business.
Yeah, right up there with Bob Layton. And when I met Bob Layton, and he was cool too. Just talking to him, and they'll just chat you up, and not charge you for stuff. Another guy was the guy who did Hellboy, Mike Mignola. Met him at a con too. Very cool. He goes, I won't sign your book, charge you. Just read. He goes, just promise me you read it. I said, of course. And I never read it. And I got it. The Love Affair. Look at this classic. This is the way they used to draw dames and damsels back in the day from 1949. My Love Affair, $325. And last but not least, let's look at this ASM book. This is The Final Hunt. Amazing Spider-Man number 104. Look at that. Crazy Craven. I have a feeling Craven books are going to go up.
Marvel Frames.
And you got some Kazar on there, too.
Yeah, look at that. If they do Craven's Last Hunt right, it could be a big, big thing, man. But
that'd be the only time they could use that character, though.
Yeah. Well, I mean, supposedly his kid's going to be in it. So, there's that. I'm going to take a quick little break. And I'll be back over on Team Nerd Herd podcast. The link is in the live chat. The show starts at 7 o'clock. I'm going to be a guest on their show called Mondo Mail Call. And they're going to ask me a bunch of questions, not just about comic books, but just in life general. I'm going to give you my philosophies on how I live life. I really don't have any, but, I'm going to try to keep it sassy that way. JB, good to be back. What say you?
Well, actually, I want to shout out the staff here at the Hampton Inn here at Sherwood, Oregon for helping me get this all set up, because they actually did help me get set up. So shout out to them and everyone who joined us tonight, man. I look forward to seeing you guys next Thursday. I'm going to be back next Thursday. I will be at I think a Trend West resort somewhere. So we'll see what kind of connectivity I have out there.
JB secretly in witness protection. That's why.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Looks like an OnlyFans background.
Yeah, right. Gabe, any last words?
Everybody, thanks for showing up. Thanks again for all the fun. Great talk here. I actually got a book on the list of that tick number 1, so I'm happy. That's awesome.
I think I have one. I think I still have my tick number 1. It's sitting around somewhere because I never was able to find a bag and board for it that I really liked. You know what I mean? So it's like in a magazine size bag and board, and
you got to fit it in a box. You got to put it like sideways in the box.
Exactly.
And not like,
man. Yeah, but also shout out to my dental hygienist at Pro Smile Dentistry, and Foothill Ranch is the most random shout out ever. But I was getting my every 6 months I get my teeth cleaned, or every 4 months, and she goes, "I'm just gonna call you TiVo," and I go, "Do you know?" She goes, "No." I said, "Well, I'm kind of a big deal." No, I'm just kidding. I said, "Well," I said, people on YouTube and Instagram know me as YouTube. She goes, "Well, make sure you give us a shout out." So shout out to Pro Smile Dentistry at Foothill Ranch, California. You never thought I'd get sponsorship from a dental, but
I need my teeth cleaned.
It's kind of cool if you do. So I'm just gonna call you TiVo for it because I saw your name. And I go, do you know who I am? I'm kind of a big thing like Ron Burgundy. I never think that, by the way. Anyway, thank you guys for joining us. The link is in the live chat. I'll be there in about 5-10 minutes. I just got to go hydrate, and then I'll see you guys over on Team Nerd Herd. Until then, we'll see you on this channel next Tuesday for the CovrPrice Top 10. Until next time, boys and girls, keep digging in them long boxes. Peace out.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
Oh my god.
Come on and get some, boys. In the great hall of the Justice League, there are assembled the world's 3 greatest heroes, created from the cosmic legends of the universe. Their mission, to fight injustice, to right that which is wrong, and to serve all mankind.
Now that's a name I've not heard.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.
Shake and bake and pull it back.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright. Go on and get some, boys.
Jack, here's the deal. I'm the best there is.
In this, you shall know that the Lord is upright.